The coronavirus has upended much of daily life for everyone, and farmers are no different. In some instances, they've had to make adjustments to their business operations and sales on the fly. But those changes are nothing new for many producers.
Farmers are not a 9-to-5 type person. We're a 5 to 9 type group, and then a little bit of extra on top of that if we care to work some more.
KARI SPONAUGLE and her husband Michael farm in Highland County. She was in Denmark in early March as part of an agricultural tour for an industry leadership program. Like many Americans, she was forced to race home when the coronavirus outbreak led the U.S. and other countries to begin limiting travel.
It was a little bit of a scare. We were all kind of, what do we do when we get home? How are our families, gonna handle this? I came home to the farm here and I self-quarantined by myself away from my 2 sons and my husband for the 14 days that we were required to self-quarantine. It was a very interesting time. We knew that we couldn't see each other, stay in the same house, and life was challenging for about 2 weeks. And now with further restrictions, we are back together, but now we're facing all the other things that come with being safe and being prepared in the public.
While some grocery aisles may look empty, Virginia farmers want you to know that it is only temporary. Stores are closing early so workers can restock, and they're able to restock because there's an ample food supply. The connection isn't always obvious to everyone, so farming advocates are sharing visual examples of farmers doing what farmers do and adding the hashtag #StillFarming on social media. As of early April, that hashtag had been associated with 11 million views across social media in 48 states.
We will keep on raising, producing, growing Virginia's produce, proteins, and grains.
Barry Bates owns and operates Mount View Farm in Essex County, where he raises Angus beef cattle and hay. He also serves on the State Board of Directors for the Virginia Farm Bureau, so he's familiar with many other challenges facing farmers during the pandemic. He's closely watching the H-2A visa regulations concerning foreign workers, who are critical to farm labor in Virginia. Other farmers, like vegetable and hay producer DARREN GRIGSBY, haven't seen a big change in consumer demand yet. He's staying focused on what he needs to do to keep his crops growing.
Well, it really hasn't affected farmers that much. I mean, we still we're helping feed the country, so our operations have to continue to get crops in.
But as president of the King George County Farmers Market, GRIGSBY has seen one significant impact of the virus. They've already pushed back their market opening for 30 days.
The governor's relieved some restrictions on farmers markets. At first they were considered non-essential, and then he looked at it a little different and said that they could be open under some different guidelines, not normal everyday business. Pretty much he wanted them to be a drive-through only, where people would drive by the vendors and hopefully have already pre-ordered, and all they had to do was just drive through and pick up.
In Orange County, Aaron Gallahan, daughter Carly, and their family run a dairy farm. Some of the precautions they're taking on the farm will sound familiar to folks stuck at home.
Washing our hands as often as possible. We're also going through and sanitizing high-touch areas.
But their line of work also requires more stringent precautions.
As a dairy farm, we have a lot of vendors coming in and out of the farm on a daily basis. And so we ask them to respect the 6-foot boundaries. And we also ask that if we could possibly do business over the phone, then we conduct business that way instead.
Dairy farmers say with schools closed across the nation, more consumers are drinking milk at home than usual, and the dairy processors are still trying to adjust.
The average consumer is probably going into their local grocery stores and seeing empty dairy cases, and that is obviously a concern to the consumer. I'm here to tell you, though, that there is not a supply problem in the United States. We're in the beginning of April now, and we're in what we like to call the spring flush, when there's an overabundance of milk, of fluid milk on the market.
While there is still plenty of food in the supply chain in the U.S., farmers are also feeling the impacts of this pandemic. Crop and livestock prices have tumbled downward, and there have been huge shifts in demand due to school and restaurant closings. But history has shown time and again that farmers are resilient, and Virginia producers say they will adjust to whatever the coronavirus pandemic throws at them next. In Spotsylvania County, Virginia, I'm Burke Moeller reporting.